Welcome to Sherwood Forest, where the legendary major oak stands as a majestic symbol of history and nature. The major oak is not only a remarkable natural wonder, but also a vital part of the cultural heritage of the UK. In 2022, the major oak was celebrated as part of the Queen's Green Canopy, marking its importance in British natural history. Estimated to be between 800 and 1,100 years old, this oak has witnessed centuries of historical events and survived natural challenges, from storms to deforestation. This tree is not just massive, it spans 28 meters across, but also steeped in legend. Named after Major Hayman Rooke, who documented it in the 18th century, the oak is thought to be a fusion of several saplings. And let's not forget the legend of Robin Hood. It's said that this very oak provided shelter to Robin and his merry men, adding a layer of myth to its already rich history.
So obviously, this is a tree that's had a lot of interventions. We wouldn't necessarily treat any of our trees like this anymore. The leaves are very small, the acorns are very small, it looks quite sickly. Well, one of the theories is that all of the work that happened 20 years ago, this is now the response, it's a delayed response to everything. And this has had a lot of interventions over the years. So starting from the Victorian, so early 1900s, late 1800s, this is where all the iron works come from. Then the 70s, 1970s, these were timber props that then got replaced in the early 2000s with these metal acro prop type ones, and they're on huge concrete bases. Okay, so huge, yeah. So when there's video imagery of this work happening, and they've got telehandlers and excavators all over the root place. It's just astonishing to think that happened 20 years ago. And then obviously we've got the fencing that keeps the public away, but all of that happened. And then the condition assessments on the major oak have shown that it's just deteriorated and deteriorated, and they think it is because the compaction underneath within this tree area is so great that there is about 2 meters of solid, almost like concrete life sand. So the sand around here, the soils around here are so friable and they compact really, really easy. So there's been a lot of work to try and get nutrients to the root systems or aerate the root systems, but actually nothing can get that deep. So that's the next phase that we're working out. So there was a time when, like Jonathan was saying, mulch was applied here, but it was about 1 foot deep, and then it started to anaerobically digest, and so it was just sat on the top, basically having a detrimental effect. So then they scrape that off in areas. So this has had huge amounts of lots of different things, all with the intention of feeding the tree, but actually nothing until we've started getting towards that kind of scientific, let's investigate what's in the soil, let's see what the root system is. So what we're looking towards doing is vertical mulching. But what the thinking is we're going to try the pits again and then auger down and then feed into those, and with some compost tea that's made locally from site. We're also going to try potentially foliar feeding, just to give it some sort of nutrient boost, and then looking towards getting more of that analysis to look at sap flow and kind of all of the different things, the processes that are going on, to really understand what's happening with the tree before we then try and apply some technique. We're trying to work out exactly how to make that link happen again, because just from that first round of soil analysis they found that there was very little interaction between mycorrhizae and the roots that they actually found. We've talked about a lot of different things actually. So one of the suggestions Gemma and myself, Reg, Luke and Simon Parfy, who is the soil scientist, have met on site to look at all of these options, and we want to do something because it's too much of a cultural icon and there's too much political kind of interest in this one particular tree to not be seen to do anything. And we've kind of come up with quite a few options. The main thing first is to get that baseline data of what it is, to know the impact of anything that we actually do, because we've not got the baseline data at the minute. We need that 3D imagery. We need to know kind of what you know, what the leaves are actually doing, what the roots are doing as far as possible, and then apply some techniques. We've talked about having live shrubs around to actually help us break and set up the systems. Simon even suggested having a crop under here that has got robust root systems, things like dandelions even, that have got really heavy roots that will actually help break the soil and do the work for us. So using natural processes, but it's how we go about monitoring whether that's the right thing or that's going to be even more detrimental. So.